Hey, it's Clay, and this will be a video chart on ticker symbol GE. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So while this may look like several days worth of time, it's actually today's price action broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like to this time frame, and does a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price, and then makes mapping out where levels of support and resistance a bit easier to see. Been pretty bearish on this one, and it's not like that makes me some sort of genius. This one has not been very difficult to be bearish on, whether or not you're talking fundamentals or technicals. A couple days ago, I was talking about the bear pattern that had formed, and then this was just playing out from that today. So just more bloodshed. Although you got to give credit where credit's due. The bulls did flex a little bit of muscles here, and the price got a nice little bounce there. Whether or not there's any sort of true power behind this bounce, though, that's kind of the big question. And if you're just using past history as any sort of indicator, you would have to, wager that this is probably just some sort of dead cat bounce. But you never know. And, the nice thing about stocks that get beat down in a hurry, they can produce some very nice bounces if there's any sort of legitimate strength behind it. So is there any legitimate strength? Like I said, I don't know. But a very straightforward way to answer that question is just to keep an eye on whether or not it can make progress. What do I mean by progress? Well, that's what I like about charts is you can take statements like that and then quantify them, assign numbers to them. I'm assigning progress as $8.40. Why? Well, let's just think about things. If the price were to, and I'm not saying this were to occur, but if the price comes down here, breaks below 840, and then just sinks on downwards, what would that be doing to the price at that point in time? That would literally be putting the price right back inside of that range where it was when it was flirting with those lows. Again, going back, not exactly a sign of true strength. I'm assuming I state the obvious when I say that. Whereas let's say the price pulls back here, but in this situation actually behaves in this manner before starting to work its way back upwards. Now, what would you have here? Well, you'd have a set of lows right there. You'd have those lows right there. If you envision each one of those as stair steps, well, hey, now you have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. And that's what truly strong moves are going to do. If this bounce has any sort of legitimate power, it's going to need to show signs of progress. And like I said, in this situation, I am just quantifying and defining that statement progress as 840. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, the overarching one is very clearly that 50-period simple moving average. If you go through the history of things, you can see a whole bunch of times knocked down the price there. Yesterday, knocked down the price on Thursday. So keep an eye on that from an overall chart perspective. But really, it all depends on can the price start building higher bases. Because if it can't build the higher bases, then who cares about that as resistance? So in my opinion, top priority by far is just chipping away and seeing if this thing can put in some higher lows or not. One of the biggest questions that I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.